Hello, and welcome to Season 1, Race 9 of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, when we are here at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It feels kind of weird that we're at Hungary and we're not even halfway through the season, but that's just the way the calendar works out. In the game, we've qualified P10, which is pretty good for us here. Not our best track, but, very got no problems with that result. Our teammate qualified actually pretty decently. Qualified P19, so which for Guan Yu Zhou is pretty solid. Standings wise, Hamilton has a pretty sizable lead over Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, so it's up to him to really continue to build that lead. It's up to the other guys to try and chase him down and try to close up in the championship. Of course, before we go into the race, we'll be looking at some R&D related things. We picked Daniel Ricciardo as our new rival. Actually, kind of surprised, I guess, based on how much we trounced Kimi Räikkönen and based on how well we've been finishing as of late. The game picked higher level rivals for us. I was expecting more someone like Aston Martin or an AlphaTauri driver or an Alpine driver, but nope, just up to the McLaren. I think the choices were Bottas, Perez, Norris, and Ricciardo, so felt Ricciardo was probably the best bet. So I'm going to have to make some upgrade choices here. Once it loads up here. Weather's going to be dry for the race, which is good. We have a major aero part that's supposed to be coming in. I forget when. I think before Zandvoort. Yeah, so scheduled for Zandvoort, if it works. We have 1,000 points exactly to spend. Now, I'm trying to look and see where is that going to be a chassis part or a engine part, I would say. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a couple minor upgrades here. We've got this stators, which are revised stator design features more coils of wire around this parameter in order to create stronger magnetic field, thus creating additional energy from braking. And that's only $397 because we got some on discounts through the practice programs and whatnot. I feel like I could get a better bang for my buck with 2 minor upgrades as opposed to 1 major upgrade, at least at this particular moment in time. Let's go with that, and I'll go with this one. I have enough points, just barely. So we'll have a lot of upgrades coming on the car. Hopefully, all coming in around the same time, so. And at this moment, that means we will only have 5 resource points. So that's fun. Well, in any regard, let's go to the Hungarian Grand Prix. And let's see how this race unfolds.
Welcome to Budapest once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. Historically, a good race for first victories with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Bottas, Leclerc, Lando Norris and Sainz, Ricciardo, Vettel, the owner driver and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon and Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Perez, they've taken a grid penalty, and Guan Yu Zhou and Nikita Mazepin. Russell, Stroll, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Raikkonen and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Alright, so we actually gained a spot because Sergio Perez got a grid penalty, and Guan Yu Zhou gained a spot as well with Lance Stroll taking a grid penalty, so both of us getting a spot further up the grid. Now, here's the interesting thing I wanted to see, because I saw some people who've played the Hungarian Grand Prix already in their career modes have brought this up, with how the strategy is a little different in Hungary than it was in the past. Previously, the way it typically worked is that, even in last year's games, that the top 10 would do a two-stop like we saw in... What race was that? That I did? France, I believe it was. Where they do a two-stop, and the people who start on the medium tires, 11th on back, do a one-stop. And that jumbles up the order. That's what typically happened here, but as I see, the default strategy for the front runners is a little different, where it's soft to hard to the end of the race. And I'm guessing that's the strategy we're gonna go with, and we'll see how well that works for us. Yeah, so we will make any changes if necessary, or if they come up during the race.
Okay, go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs. Okay, our main competitors in this race are Vettel and Gasly. No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Of course, the concern with the tires is that I guess the goal of people of the mediums is to stay close enough to those of us on the softs. And if you're a soft tire runner like myself, the concern is being stuck behind traffic that's going to be running a little bit deeper into the race. So that's going to be... I really think that's going to be the thing to look out for here in this Grand Prix. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out here.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions looking good.
Of course, as they say, Hungary is the Monaco without the barriers. A very hard track to overtake. So, the best strategy to get spots is to get them either in the pit lane during the pit cycle, or get them while you can at the start of the race, when everyone is all bunched up.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright, here we go. 5 red lights for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lights out, and we're underway, and it's a slow getaway, really slow getaway. The AlphaTauris get a great start. Dive down to the bottom. Side by side with Lando Norris in the McLaren. We're up to P6. Our rival Ricardo managed to get by us, because I completely missed the corner. Actually, I just noticed Max Verstappen emerged with the lead. And you got Lewis Hamilton in second, Valtteri Bottas in third. Get a little troll exiting that corner. Have to add a little bit more brake there, otherwise you're gonna run real wide, real quickly, and that, as we saw the first time, will not end well for us. And another corner that we did not nail exactly right. Too far to the right. Too far to the left.
Okay, we've lost the position. That's us down a place.
Fighting with Lando Norris for P6. Staying alongside. Gonna shove him wide. Actually, I could have handled that section a lot better. Just pushed him out and then did not even try to complete the turn. And that's what I was trying to do, sort of force them to go too wide in that section. Slow them up a little bit, and I'll get away momentarily.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Norris go to the outside again. Force him out. Would prefer if that did not happen. At least that time I didn't spin him out.
Okay, clear.
Do our mid-session save. And we're about 4 laps or so into the race. I think it's going to be interesting to see what the front runners do in terms of their tire strategy. If they do indeed go soft to hard, as we are predicting that they will. I should have mentioned this earlier, but picking Ricciardo actually makes sense as well, considering what happened at Baku, where we unfortunately made some contact with him and put him out of the race through the old city section, completely unintentionally. So it makes sense that he would have a bone to pick with me.
The gap to the car ahead is 4.1 seconds.
Now the pit window for us soft tire runners is lap 8. So that's what we're sort of keeping an eye out for here.
Four seconds to the next car. Push, push.
I wonder about taking the undercut on Ricciardo. So I have two ways of thinking about this. I can either pit... I could go for an undercut. And try to sort of gain time on Ricciardo that way. Or I could go with the overcut, knowing that Ricciardo and those guys will get stuck in traffic, and see if that helps me get by them. I'm not sure which is the preferred strategy, or I guess the preferred way to go with the undercut versus the overcut.
Gap to teammate behind is 11.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 18th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 23.0. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Because these guys on the softs, when they pit, are unquestionably going to be stuck in traffic. It's just a matter of how much traffic they're stuck behind, I guess. Because again, we got people who are going to be on medium tires who are going to go longer in the race.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. P6, we have P6. Ricciardo is ahead of you. Our gap to the car in front is 5.2 seconds. They're on old softs. Sainz is behind you. Less than a second separate you. They're on old softs. The gap to the leader is 9.9 seconds. Your pit window opens in 2 laps time. 30 laps till the end now. Okay, gap ahead is 5.5 seconds. Okay, we can take you this lap. Copy that. Hards for next box.
Actually, I think some of the leaders, are they stopping early? No, they're not, but Leclerc making the move early into the pits.
Understood, stopping this lap.
We're going to do the same thing here. So we will do a mid-session save. Yeah, we'll see how this works out for us. We'll see where we come out. Leclerc, interestingly, goes on to medium tires.
Go now.
1.9 second pit stop, good job.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
And we're actually coming out in 21st, ahead of Nicholas Latifi. So Leclerc decided to come in for a set of medium tires, which that early on, it makes you think he has to be stopping again. There's no way he could pit now, go on a set of mediums, and drive it all the way to the end of the race. So I think Leclerc is going to be stopping again. And I guess the question is now is going to be, where do the leaders come out in relation to the medium tire runners? There, do we have people in front of us pitting? Let's see. We've got Vettel and Sainz pitting. And we have some of the leaders pitting too. We've got... Who's this? This is Hamilton? Yep, that's Hamilton pitting. As will Verstappen. And Hamilton actually gets held because Lando Norris, I believe that is. No, it's Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo coming in holds up Hamilton going out. So that's going to be a problem for Lewis for sure. And those guys are all going for the medium. So Leclerc is really the only outlier that I've seen thus far in terms of doing something different than what the strategy said. Alright, let's see where we are in relation to Sainz and Vettel. We're going to come out great.
Yellow flag.
Well, Tsunoda's out of the race. Yuki Tsunoda's had an engine failure. See if we can go back and take a look at it. Yep, there's Tsunoda pulling off the track. In the AlphaTauri, he is done for the day. And so Verstappen is actually stuck behind the Alpine of Fernando Alonso. So this could be a really big advantage for Valtteri Bottas. In the Mercedes, he could jump both his teammate and Max Verstappen.
Green flag.
Meanwhile, we're stuck in traffic here behind Raikkonen, Russell, and one of the Haas cars. Ooh, and that was not going to work. That was not going to work. So our objective is to dispatch of these guys as soon as possible, as Sainz has trouble going over the curb. Actually, let's take a look at that again. I think he might have tried to go past me on the inside. Well, he actually got by Vettel. Okay, let's see what happened here. Okay, so he goes out brake, and then just sort of loses it going through the chicane. Vettel locked it up. Sainz lit up the rear tires. And actually just noticed as well that Sainz also went for medium, so I think the Ferraris must be trying for a two-stop race here. Looks to be what they're doing, has to be what they're doing, because I completely screw up that corner area. And our objective will be to pass Kimi Raikkonen here if we can. We will have DRS, which will be of great assistance, of course. The problem is Raikkonen will also have DRS on George Russell, as Perez and Norris come out of the pits. dive bomb to the inside of Kimi. A little bit of contact, but we make it work. We are through. We have passed Kimi Räikkönen. Very crucial for our race here. Räikkönen will hold up those guys almost assuredly for the next lap around the track. While we try to close in on George Russell. In the Williams car. Great run. Maybe we'll get a run into the chicane here. He's giving us the space on the outside. See, that was weird. He gave us space. Looked like he was diving out of the way, like he was going to let us by, which is weird because he's not a lap car. He's, on lead lap. This is for position. I don't know. That was really weird of him to do that. What wasn't weird is that move, which is much cleaner, and we get through.
Good job. Nice overtake.
And the pass is done on George Russell. So now 2 cars are holding up the other guys behind us. We're fighting, which is good for us in our race. Extend the gap. Have a little more breathing room to work with. Just lay low behind Mazepin just so we can get the DRS, because we know he will not have DRS. So we should be able to easily get by Nikita Mazepin down this main straight. Go to the right, fake to the left. And that pass is done. Another car behind us. And now we've got our teammate Guan Yu Zhou up the road in P12. Uh-oh.
Okay, clear.
Somebody behind us has a problem. Let's see what happened. Oh, one of the Alfa Romeos spun. That was Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen went for a spin. All on his own. Which is surprising. You do not see a mistake like that very often from a veteran like Kimi Räikkönen. Or from Sergio Perez. Let's go on board with Kimi. Actually, let's go with Russell and look at it from his view from behind. And yeah, Kimi just lost it. Yep, just no warning. He's just going through the corner and just lost it. Just lost it. And he's going to tumble all the way down the order. Fortunately, he's got nobody behind him. Actually, right now, Pierre Gasly is leading the race, and as I theorized could happen, let me just double check to confirm this. So there's Gasly. He's leading the race. He hasn't stopped. Bottas is second, and Max Verstappen. So Bottas did, in fact, jump Max Verstappen in the running order. Bottas is now the net leader of the Hungarian Grand Prix. I guess the big question now is when will the soft tire or the medium tire runners pit? So we got one car coming into the pits now. But it looked like, was that? I don't think it was Hamilton, was it? No, it was just Hamilton going around the corner. That's what fooled me. Okay, so decided to completely go off the track and.
Are you okay?
Crash out of the race.
That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
You don't want that to happen now. Alright, so we are right up behind our teammate Guan Yu Zhou. Should be able to easily get DRS off of him.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Oh, Guan Yu's fighting me a little bit here. But we get by him easily anyway, and we carry on. Did the same thing in that corner again, ran a little wide to the right. And keep Guan Yu in our DRS range just to help tow him along a little bit.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Science has gotten by Nikita Mazepin. So he's the first of those cars back there to clear the slower traffic.
We're sat in P12. Stroll ahead. Gap to car in front is 3.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Guan Yu is behind you. They're on old mediums. Our gap to first place is 20.5 seconds. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 23 laps to go. The gap to the car ahead is 2.3 seconds.
Sainz gets by our teammate Guan Yu Zhou. As I mentioned earlier, Sainz is more than likely doing a two-stop, so I'm really not too concerned about him right now. And we're actually catching the group of cars in front of us who are also on medium tires. Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon, and Mick Schumacher. Will the medium tire runners pit this lap? No, they do not. They stay on track. So we stay green in this one.
You're dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second.
And really, I think it's Schumacher that's really holding up Ocon and Stroll here. And I think in front of them is the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. No pit stops yet, but we are within DRS range of Stroll. So we are joining the back of this train here. Move on Stroll into the chicane. Got done. Now Stroll will hold up
Brilliant.
Carlos Sainz.
Nice move.
Well, we chased after Esteban Ocon. And Alonso heads into the pits. He's one of the guys who was on the medium tires. Schumacher stays out, Ocon stays out, so does Stroll. Guan Yu's in the pits.
Guan Yu is coming in for his stop.
Gasly just comes out, so we lose a spot in the pit stop sequence to Pierre Gasly. He was behind us, now he's gotten in front of us. So Pierre has made that medium to hard stint work well for him. We are right behind Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. Trying to make a pass into the chicane again. Yes, we will get it done. So we've passed two cars who have still yet to pit. And Schumacher dives into the pits for his stop, as does Ocon, as does Stroll.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds.
Giovinazzi, I believe, is the only car in front of us who is yet to pit. So when that all cycles out, we should end up in P7. Gio would be doing us a huge favor if he stays out for another lap after this, but I had to imagine he's going to come in. So, guess our fight here, Sainz, again, I feel like he's going to absolutely pit again, considering he pitted so early for the mediums. So, I think our battle is really going to be with Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Go back and fix that corner that we did not get right the first time. And there goes Giovinazzi into the pits for his stop. Now this is elevate us into P7.
That's P7. You've moved into P7. Okay, gap ahead is 2.4 seconds. P7 now, P7. Gasly is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 2.4 seconds. They're on fresh hards. Signs behind, less than a second separate you. They're on old mediums. Okay, gap to leader, 28.1 seconds. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 17 laps to go.
So just to recap where everything is right now. Valtteri Bottas leads the Grand Prix. Verstappen is second. Hamilton is third. Hamilton within Verstappen's DRS, so those two are battling for second and third right now. Fourth is Daniel Ricciardo, and Leclerc is behind him, but if Leclerc is going to be stopping again, which I think he will, they'll pretty much secure Ricciardo fourth place. Gasly currently is 6th. We are currently 7th, with Sainz in 8th, Perez in 9th, and Norris in 10th behind us. We have Alonso in 11th, Vettel in 12th, Giovinazzi 13th, Mick Schumacher 14th, Stroll 15th, Ocon 16th, Guan Yu Zhou is 17th, Nikita Mazepin is 18th, George Russell 19th, Nicholas Latifi 20th, Kimi Räikkönen 21st, and Yuki Tsunoda, who's already out of the race, is in 22nd place.
We're leading our teammate by 28.2 seconds.
Now, the Leclerc situation is going to be very interesting, especially this one, because he's almost a full pit stop ahead of us. Not quite, but he's getting close to being a full pit stop ahead of us. So it's going to be close to see whether he comes out ahead of us or right behind us. It's going to be tight to judge.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.6 seconds. Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Now, my etching opponents through this race are a little worn. They're not at optimum operating capacity, that's for sure. But honestly, after this weekend, I was going to transition this particular power unit to being my practice power unit. So I'm not terribly concerned, knock on wood. Sainz looks to make another move, but it's not going to happen. We're going to shove him wide. He's going to go side by side with Sergio Perez. I think Perez is going to get the spot. No, Sainz holds on to it for the moment. Oh, and there's Leclerc. He is in the pits right now for his second set of medium tires. We'll see where he comes out. Not sure what the pit delta here is in Hungary.
Caution, the virtual safety car has just been deployed.
Virtual safety car.
Debris on the track. Some information on Giovinazzi. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
So something happened to Giovinazzi. I'll have to take a look. I don't know what happened to him. Oh, he's crashed. Giovinazzi has crashed. I don't know where this is. Oh my goodness, that was Lance Stroll, who just plowed right into him. Stroll just plowed right into the side of Antonio Giovinazzi. I have no idea what happened there. That was crazy. Something happened. We're gonna have to look at this after the race, but something happened with Giovinazzi. He crashed, and then Stroll just. Oh, that's driver's side. How the heck is Lance Stroll still in this race? I have no idea. I have no idea how Stroll is still rolling. Take a look at it from on board Nikita Mazepin. And he barely avoids it too. So I believe the safety car is now out. Yep, it's out. Safety car, full safety car. Second spinner. Now, as I said, we saw earlier in the race, Kimi Räikkönen went for a spin, and now his teammate Antonio Giovinazzi has completely crashed out of the race. So, a lot of things happening in this Hungarian Grand Prix all at once, all of a sudden. And what that's going to do, that's going to be very helpful for my helpful for my teammate, because he's probably going to gain 3 spots. 1 spot from Giovinazzi, of course, who just crashed. He's going to gain 1 spot from Lance Stroll, who's putting down to fix the front wing, and probably another spot from Carlos Sainz, who is going to have to pit again, because again Ferrari is on a 2-stop strategy, so that's definitely not worked out for Carlos. He's going to be mired back in traffic. There goes Sainz diving into the pits. Actually, where is my teammate? Might be a little borderline if he'll catch Sainz. Maybe not. Right now we're trying to catch the safety car in front of us, catch the field. There they are. Alright. Just wondering where they were. So actually, Charles Leclerc is really in the catbird seat right now because he's got a bunch of people in front of him on hard tires, and he is on fresh mediums. So Leclerc might be the fastest man on the track once we go back to green. So I'm wondering if I might just let Leclerc go on the restart and sort of just follow him. Because I think he's going to be really quick. Because he had only just pitted. He came to the pits, and we passed him just as the safety car is coming out, so... Yeah, his tires are totally fresh right now, as is Carlos Sainz. See where my teammate is. He still hasn't caught up to the pack yet. Oh, he's practically there. So the running order is going to be Bottas, but he's also got the lap car of Lance Stroll, who pitted for that wing damage. It's wedged between him and Verstappen in second. And then we've got Hamilton in third. Norris fourth, or Ricardo fourth, Gasly fifth, I'm sixth, Leclerc seventh, Perez is in eighth, Norris is ninth, Alonso is 10th, then Vettel 11th, Sainz 12th, Schumacher 13th, Ocon 14th, Juanjo 15th, Mazepin 16th, Russell 17th, Latifi 18th, Raikkonen 19th, and Stroll's in 20th with Giovinazzi and Tsunoda out of the race. I think we're going to do one more lap here under the safety car. It's a good time for the whole pack to catch up. Raikkonen is the last one, so after that we should be good to go on the next lap to go back racing. ERS is totally full, which will be good for us.
Okay, let's get ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
And I think we'll strongly consider letting Leclerc pass us since he's got the faster tires. See if if he can carve his way through the field, and he can take advantage of that potentially.
Green flag.
Here comes Perez. Using Stroll as a pick.
1 second lead over the car behind. Be aware.
Did Stroll cause some issues there? Let's see. He sort of did. Oh.
Be aware we expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Oh, Perez is pitting. Does he have damage? He must have wing damage. Must have damage of some kind. That's not good for Perez. We continue on. I think we're going to be defending from Lando North here in a moment.
2.1 seconds. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. Gap to teammate behind is 5.3 seconds.
Uh-oh. Problem with the rear wing.
Your DRS is offline. The rear wing is down, so you can stay out while we work on a fix.
But again, that doesn't really affect us, because we're not really chasing, we're defending. So we wouldn't have DRS anyway. Would certainly be more an issue if you were passing someone.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
And Leclerc is going to get by Pierre Gasly for P5.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.1 seconds.
Well, that wasn't ideal. Ours just dove up to our inside. We made a mistake. And this chicane can get pretty tight.
Gap to car in front is 4.9 seconds. We need to catch up with the car ahead. The gap is around 5 seconds.
Norris gets the spot. We're going to dive back in on turn 1. Getting real close here. Myself, Norris, Vettel, Alonso, Sainz. All fighting for real estate. Meanwhile, Bottas still maintains the lead over Verstappen and Hamilton. Don't forget that battle between Alonso and Sainz. That's for the last points paying position, so crucial spot here.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Did I make contact with Lando there? Not really sure. Norris gets 5. We're going to dive him again in the inside of turn 1. Shove him out wide, and Vettel is going to get the spot for now. I'm going to run wide. Vettel's on the outside. It's going to be tight. He and Norris make contact. It's all kicking off here.
The gap to the car ahead is
2 laps to go, coming up. Norris really chopping off the pace now as I go wide. I almost had the same crash I had the first time. I made that mistake. Oh, and Norris pits. He must have damage. The McLaren driver comes into the pits. Oh, in the grass. Vettel gets by for 7th.
We need to stay
Alonso,
on
here he comes. Here comes Sainz for 8th, or 9th. So much contact. Sainz off track.
Okay, clear.
Oh, we're off track again. Everything is coming apart here. Meanwhile, Mick Schumacher's in the points. In the Haas. Sitting P10 right now. For all that chaos.
DRS will be offline. There's a fault with the rear wing system. Stay out, we can work on a fix remotely.
Mick Schumacher looking to pass me in a Haas. Not gonna work that time. Just trying to keep him behind me.
3 laps of fuel remaining. This is your final lap of the race.
These points will be big for Haas. They can hold on. Something happened behind us. There was flashing blue lights and then green behind. That must have been for Stroll getting out of the way of some people. But Valtteri Bottas has won
To the car in front is 3.9 seconds.
the Hungarian Grand Prix from Verstappen and Hamilton. And we are going to come home P9 while Mick Schumacher will get the first points of the year, a singular point for Haas F1 team to put them on the board.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So we end up finishing one spot ahead of where we started. Well, technically right where we started, but we qualified 10th. But we had the grid
There'll be
penalties.
smiles back at the factory after that one. A great race and a real team performance to take victory here in Hungary. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So first win of the year for Valtteri Bottas.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, there was a lot of incredible driving out there today, Crofty, but if I had to pick someone, it's got to be Sergio Perez. Fantastic driving.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Alright, and that was the Hungarian Grand Prix. So we're going to attempt to look at Giovinazzi and see what happened to him. So this will take a few minutes. Because unfortunately, you don't have the ability to just jump from certain points to certain points. Although you can jump from lap to lap, which is a little easier. This is right around here where Giovinazzi has his accident. Oh, there it is. Let's take a look. Yeah, just lost it around the corner, just like... Oh man, that was a huge impact. So just like his teammate, Kimi Räikkönen, Giovinazzi loses it. Different part of the track, but he just loses control. Like you can see already right there, he's just lost control. He spins it out to the inside of the track, and unlike Kimi Räikkönen, he doesn't get as lucky. He just plows it right into the wall, into the tire barrier, which launches him back into the track, and right into the path of Lance Stroll, which is no bueno. No bueno. On board, Giovinazzi. Yep, and he just accelerated out the corner and lost it. Gassed it up and just lost control. Nothing you could say, really. There you go, and I should also mention teammate Guan Yu Zhou, no points, but best result of the season in P12. Constructor standings, Mercedes firmly ahead of Red Bull at this stage, over 100 points, or 100 points exactly. We remain in P4. And Bottas jumps Norris in the standings for third, and is actually only a point behind Max Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship as of now. Actually, that result means that Guan Yu Zhou, even with no points, he will jump George Russell in the standings, so it's good for him. He's one spot ahead. He's in the top 20 safely, so, yeah, that was a wild weekend in Hungary. A lot of things happening in those closing laps.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. We all underestimated you, didn't we? There's quite a buzz around this team at the moment. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, AlphaTauri's done pretty well this
Do you have
year.
any comments about the collisions? Great. Well, that's everything.
Good example where we can decline an answer there. Now, we've got the summer break coming up. We know that. Obviously, the next race is Belgium. This is where the summer break will take place. Ricardo trouncing us in the rivalry. I honestly thought that was Norris who got by us at the start, but that was actually Ricardo. Unfortunately. Get both of our sponsors, our secondary sponsors, all good there. Pretty decent base payout. Nice to see that. Only Guan Yu Zhou had negative or minus $5,000 in damage, so not too shabby. Not too shabby. Now remember, at this point, I'm still in the process of saving money. I'm not going to buy or upgrade any more departments because of the fact that we have to renew Guan Yu Zhou's contract. So, we have that in mind. Although his contract value is up to 2 million now, which is kind of annoying, if I'm being completely honest with you. But that's alright. We have until September the 6th, so we have another whole race weekend to take care of that. And we'll get the development upgrade on this car, or on the resource point. Actually, I might wait to see what happens coming up here in a second. And we have no time to do anything else because we got a press interview. So that stinks a little bit.
The
Get
department
powertrain
has some
upgrade.
good news to share. They've just finished working on a facility upgrade. The details are available in your inbox.
Let's look at corporate. Let's go to press interview with Will Buxton.
Thanks so much for the invitation to your HQ. Let's have a little chat about the team's performance this season. Your team's had their first win in Formula One. Is this a sign of things to come?
Some credit to our power unit department.
Your facilities here are looking a little dated compared to other teams. Is there a reason for that? I saw a lot of new technicians in your powertrain department. Is this a major focus for you? Your team is currently best of the rest. Do you think you'll be able to challenge the top 3 teams in the near future? Your second driver really seems to be improving at a rapid pace. How dedicated are they? Well, thanks a lot for inviting us here. It's been fantastic.
That interview went well. Now we gotta go to the summer break. And looks like that's over. So do some weight training for Guan Yu. We'll do, I guess we'll do durability. Costs us 5k, but that's not a ton of money.
The personnel department has requested your input on this one.
Okay, we should consider sending Guan Yu Zhou on some medium trading. We've seen some preliminary conversations with Martin Steele, who's well known for having worked on this with some very high-profile celebrities. And he has some availability coming up. So it's $50,000 in cash, but second driver claim is plus 1,000. So I think that's a decent deal.
Handled that well. Thank you.
Alright, so we will advance time, and in terms of our R&D, We don't have anything coming in for this race weekend, unfortunately. Actually, we do have the money now. We can go to do that perk that I was looking at for development feedback. And Guan Yu's contract is 2 million, but we should get the money to do that because the next race is September the 3rd. If I look at the R&D, well, not the next race, but the race after that. Where's the calendar here? I think we can view that through the R&D departments, or for the upgrades. So if we go here, we can see that the Dutch Grand Prix is September the 3rd. So through the next two races, we basically just can't spend any money just to ensure that we have enough to retain Guan Yu Zhou's contract. So that's it for the Hungarian Grand Prix. I'll see you at the next race, which is the Belgian Grand Prix.